Hi, Bob McLeod here for TNT Tips. In this video, I am introducing TntConnect 3.1. Here's a snapshot of TNT 3.1. TntMPD has a new name. It works with Windows 10 and Mac El Capitan and has major Mac improvements. It resolves the Google login and Google Maps errors. It has a major new feature, multiple currency support, and a couple of new languages. And it has more than 70 other new features or fixes. The big news is that TntMPD is now called TntConnect. The reason is that TntMPD was developed by Troy Wolbrink, who was on staff with his wife Tammy with Campus Crusade for Christ, which is now known as CRU in the US. And CRU's name for the support raising process is Ministry Partner Development, or MPD, and so he built it just to be Troy and Tammy's MPD software, or TntMPD. But it was so helpful that it began to spread through other Campus Crusade for Christ ministries throughout the world, and then the Navigators and many other ministries. And now it is used by around 12,000 missionaries in over 500 ministries. Many of these organizations do not use the term MPD to describe their support raising process. And because of the broad kingdom value of this tool, about 2 years ago, Troy felt led by the Lord to leave Campus Crusade for Christ staff and start an independent ministry so he could focus his full energy on this software and its related tools. Because MPD is a Campus Crusade specific term, it seemed like a good time to change the name to be more broadly applicable to the other ministries. So TNT is what it has always been called by most users, and Connect is what it helps you do with your ministry partners. But what you may not know is that in addition to TNT, over the last 15 years, Troy has also built several ministry-specific tools that help ministries process donations and deliver that information to their missionaries over the web. So if your ministry has needs in this area, I encourage you to have them contact Troy at tntware.com. So what's new in TntConnect 3.1? Well, the biggest new feature is multiple currency support. As I mentioned, TNT is used by more than 12,000 missionaries, and thousands of these missionaries receive gifts in more than one currency. If your ministry receives gifts in more than one currency, you may have only seen those gifts after they were converted to the ministry's primary or base currency, as it is called. Now, if your ministry's donation system supports this, the exact gift amount and the original currency will be passed right through to TNT. Or if you work with a ministry that has offices in multiple countries and those gifts were given to the local office in each country, you probably used a separate TNT database for each currency, which is cumbersome. Now you can combine all of these countries into a single database, and you can do this easily using the merge with another database feature. Now this is for all users. Because TNT does not know what your currency is, or whether you have multiple currencies or not having ever asked that question in the past, each user is going to be asked one time to identify their main currency. You can add any other currencies at this time or later, and TNT will color code them to help you distinguish them. The multi-currency shows up all over TNT, but if you only have one currency in your database, you will not even see any of these features. Because this does not apply to all users, I'm only going to highlight one place where multi-currency features are at work. You can see all of the multi-currency features in the help manual if you're more interested. The most important place where multi-currency features are shown is on the TNT tab, as it is now called. This used to be the MPD tab. Here you'll be able to select the partner's default currency, both for new gifts and for the average giving calculations. The gift list will now display a real currency symbol based on each gift's currency. The gift chart in the center will display all gifts by currency color, and you can toggle the displayed currency. Note that TNT only uses the current exchange rate for gifts because that's the most important exchange rate for your support goal. TNT does not store the exchange rate for individual gifts at the time they were given. This release also adds Italian and Greek, bringing the total number of languages to 15. Now there are several other things about this upgrade. The most significant thing is not a new feature, but rather a removed feature. That is, the database password has been eliminated. This password has proven to be problematic for many users. Now, database security is important, but a password on TNT actually created a false sense of security because all of the data in your TNT database can be exported to your hard drive where it is not protected by this password. And most missionaries can download donor and donation information from their ministry's staff web or staff portal or any other support raising software they may be using to manage their support development work. And this data all ends up on their computer's hard drive, unprotected. So it's more important to protect your whole computer. There is a significant improvement in the Mac experience. Troy has spent hundreds of hours this past year improving the Mac experience. About 40% of TNT users use TNT on a Mac. Now it will look and feel the same, but the performance is improved in many ways. Another handy new feature is the ability to enlarge the interface. Many modern devices have such high resolution monitors that some software can appear very small. Now in the Tools, Options, Installation area, you can enlarge the interface up to 200%. As I said before, there are 70 other minor fixes and tweaks and improvements. I want to point you in the direction of some helpful new resources so you can learn TNT better. The most significant new resource is a great new video series called Smart Path. There are 53 helpful videos, one for each week, every one of them under 3 minutes long. These videos are hosted by a company called Smart Story, which is partnering with us to make this possible. You can view these videos on the web at http://smarty.us, that's smrty.us/TNT tips. Or you can download the free app for your iPhone or Android phone, and from there, just enter our SMART code, which is GOTNT-TIPS. Another help tool that has been around for a long time that I would encourage you to try if you have not done so already is what I call the magic help button. This is the F1 key. When you're using TNT and need help or just curious about something, press F1 and you will get help for the exact spot where you were working at that moment. There are more than 150 short, helpful articles, many of which are step-by-step instructions for using that feature. The best place for technical help, of course, is the TNT Forum, which you can access from within the community window. This is a place where you can ask any question about TNT. TNT is a user-supported software, and when you submit requests on the forum, volunteers like myself from many ministries look at these requests and provide answers, often in just a few hours. You may also want to check out my blog, www.tnt.tips. This is not a help forum, but just a place where once or twice a week I share tips and tricks and best practices for using TNT. Because even expert users of software sometimes learn a new trick that just increases the value of that software for them. Well, I hope this video has been helpful for you and that you find TNT Connect 3.1 to be a great blessing to your ministry. Thanks for watching, and God bless your work.